What is purpose and why it's important. In this video, what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be explaining to you what purpose is, why is it important, and how you are supposed to find it, and how I did that. And let me tell you one thing: it is not going to be an ideological video in which I'm going to be explaining to you some new religion or ideology or perhaps some new cosmic plan that could be there for you. No, that's not something that I'm going to be doing. What I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to be telling you a cool, strategical, and tactical approach to find a reason for you to live this life. And let me tell you one thing before finding out and getting right into it, what it is and how to find it. But I want to explain to you a few things: what life is, and what is death, and what is the importance of purpose. Let's start with that. You are supposed to know that in the absence of purpose, either having it completed or not having it found yet, you're ready to die. That is how intense it is supposed to be. If you don't think there is any reason for you, there is no reason and there is no purpose for you to live, then what is left is death, or the inability or no reason for you to exist. And you have, once you have completed it, then you are still ready to die. So that is what it's supposed to be, and that is how you're supposed to be connected with it. Now let me tell you what life is, because well, apparently you need a reason to live life, and that is what purpose is. So what you're supposed to understand is that there is no cosmic plan. You are not, the earth is not standing on the shoulders of some boulder or the back of a turtle's shell or some horse or anything of that sort. No, you are not born every 100 years again and again, though there are not these dharmas and chakras and whatever that stuff is, whatever any religion proposes. I don't believe in that, because well, that thing is not able to propose full theory, and that thing is not able to give you a whole worldview, and that thing is not able to provide you your place accurately into the world. So what I think, and what's something that actually works and will work for you as well, is to understand it mathematically. You are born as the result of this biological relation between your parents, and you're gonna die pretty soon. If you're lucky enough, and if you are, let's say, in the middle class or in the middle of the hierarchy or not at the very bottom, you're going to have 60 to 70 years if you're lucky. Now tell you what I'm going to tell you is that how to live and why to live for this. I mean, what is going to be the reason for you to exist for these 60 to 70 years. One of the things that I would, after having explained what life is, that you were born at one point and then you're going to die. That is what it is. There is nothing else. You were not there. You came into existence, and you die. You're never ever gonna exist again. So that is what it is. Let me tell you. Touch a little bit about death for you. What is death? The worst misconception about death that you can have is considering it something sudden or something that happens just once. No. What having that idea does to you is that it makes you think that you've got a lot of time. No, your death is something that is gradual, that is happening all of the time. You are dying, your cells that are dying, and you are moving closer towards death. Your body, I mean, what death is just the expiry date of your body. So what is happening is that your body is just maturing, it is developing, it's just getting toward that age where one day it will just cease working. So that is something that is continual, and that is happening and gradual, and it is happening all of the time. What that does, what having these kind of belief does, and what it has helped me do in my life, and is to just value each and every second of my existence in my life more, and be more ruthlessly productive, and to just pursue my purpose, which is something that I'm going to be touching in a second, how I find it out, and how I just went after that. And what that does is that it helps me be more productive, be more ruthless, be more aggressive, and be more obsessed with my purpose, and to just comprehend it as the only reason for my existence. And the fact that if I'm not actually actively pursuing my purpose and the reasons for which I decided to be here, then I'm wasting, and my existence is just not justified, and there is no purpose for me to be here. Let me tell you just what purpose could be. And it is divided in, there is no theory, there is no cosmic plan, and there is no nationalism, or that you are part of some people or some group. It's just that two things. Firstly, you're your own responsibility. Once you are born, you are supposed to understand the way you can deal yourself and the way you can be responsible for yourself. Nobody in the world can be. There is no concept of legacy. Because well, when you are dead, how the hell do you know that people are, well, you are taking care of you or not? And even if you think that people do care of you, or they do think about you, how about Queen Elizabeth, who ruled almost the entire world at some point, or half of the world? She's died about 3 to 4 years ago. Nobody even talks about her. So what you are supposed to understand then is that You are not living for others, or others not thinking about you. The only person that can possibly think about you and be responsible for you is yourself. There is nothing else. You are just this piece of flesh, bones, and a person. And let's say, if you're lucky enough, a good brain between your ears, nothing else. So you are not a part of some cosmic plan or some group or a nation that is here to save the world or something of that sort. You are here to exist on your own, and you have to find a reason for that. So that is what purpose is. Then let's come to the idea of what purpose could be. I divide it into two categories, and this is an idea that I've derived from the book Man Search for Meaning. You can read it on your own if you'd like to. But now I'll just condense the idea of this entire thing. There are two things that you are supposed to do when it comes to the idea of finding a purpose, which could be purposeful for you. When you just gain this maturity and you understand this world and you understand your position, which I have helped you understand, that you are just born and one day and you are just going to spend this time in which you are going to be gradually pursuing death. If you want to or not, that is something that is inevitable, that you cannot stop or cannot help, cannot slow down. If you're lucky, you'll get to live 60 to 70 years. So what you're supposed to do is find a reason to just spend those years nobly and in the best manner possible. So that is what finding a purpose literally means. Other than that, having no purpose is just a miserable existence where you inevitably end up chasing these pleasures which are of no value, and they just make you hate yourself. That is something that I've experienced as well, and that's not a really good existence. So what purpose can be divided into is two classes. Either you want to be something, or either you want to be, or either you want to do slash experience something. Now, what could that look like? And let me tell you one thing: there is not supposed to be this much rational thinking behind a purpose if it is something that you just feel intensely and obsessively attached to. I mean, let's say your purpose, you think that for you it is to climb Mount Everest. Let's say, for that matter, you don't need any rational explanation for that, insofar as it is something that helps you get out of the bed every day, work hard towards your dream, perhaps earn money, or perhaps get into a mountaineering club, whatever the step that could be towards getting to that dream. So that is what it is supposed to be. When it comes to the idea of becoming something, perhaps that is becoming a doctor, or you're a surgeon, a billionaire, or a ruler, or an army chief, a soldier, or a husband for that matter as well, and raising kids as well. Anything could be a part of it when it comes to the idea of becoming something. But it is something that has to be thought over, and it is something that you have chosen deliberately. It is not something that has to be accidental. So you are supposed to do, and I'm telling you, you don't need actually a lot of thinking about that, or what are the pros and cons of it. Let me tell you what has worked for me and what I am obsessively attached towards, and what works for me, even though I don't have this precise explanation and rationalization for that. And that is to live in the most intense manner, and to see what that I can learn, and I mean, to just observe my ability to learn as many things as possible which I'm interested about, to see how much I can become better, to see how much I can pursue what I consider greatness, and to live in terms of the most dangerous and uncomfortable life that can contribute to my personal and objective improvement. That is what is my purpose in a nutshell. What I've done so far is that I've been able to do a lot of things. For example, I'm 18. I'm learning my seventh language. I memorized the Quran. I've learned how to recite it. I've been working out twice every day for the last 4 to 5 years. And I mean, I have been doing a lot of stuff, and I've got my plans for the future as well, and all of it has been working pretty well. And where, I mean, I understand the idea that I was born about 18 years ago, and after, if I'm lucky, after about 42 to, let's say, 52 years, I'll die. So what I have to do is that I have to have value than things that are going to help me figure it out and to have a reason to exist. And when that reason ceases to exist, and I think that there is no further reason, it would be appropriate for me to die or just end my existence, because, well, a purposeless existence is not a really good existence. And so I'll be ready, and I have decided a way of death for myself as well, and that would be to do something, and that would be to die while doing something dangerous. For example, let's say climbing Mount Everest, diving into the Mariana Trench, fighting a lion, living in the jungle alone for a year or so. And that's something that is a type of death that gets me excited, and I would like to die that way, just sitting in my bed or just sitting in the hospital and waiting for death while dependent on other people is a miserable death for me, and I would not like to live my life that would contribute towards that kind of death. So this is what a purpose could be for you. You have to understand it, that nobody can take care of you as much as you can do for yourself. In fact, all the choices that you make are the ones that are directly going to impact you. So you should be responsible for yourself. This is one of the reasons why you should be responsible for yourself as well, because well, nobody can take the choice, nobody can be responsible for the choice of your life as much as you can be. Live your life in an impetuous and an adventurous way, because well, I mean, there is no way to just find the best way, because well, you understand what life is after once you have done something, and you're only able to connect the dots backwards. You don't understand how it's going to happen. So what you can have is values. For example, in my case is to just, I mean, I have the curiosity. What is in my case is curiosity and adventure. I would like to see how much I can get better. I would like to see how much I can become. I would like to see how much I can learn. I'd like to see how much I can make myself valuable. I would like to see how much I can learn. This is something that motivates me. I would like to see how much dangerously I can live, and perhaps in that very way I would like to die as well. That is how I would like to end my existence, because well, once I'm dead, I don't think that there is going to be anything, because well, it's just going to be, I mean, when you're dead, you don't know. I mean, you don't know that you ever existed in the same way as you did not, as you, when you were not non-existent, you did not know that you are going to exist. So it's not something that is for me to be fearful of. I mean, when I'm going to die, I'm going to be dead. So there is the end of it. But when I'm living, and why not live to the fullest and in the most dangerous and uncomfortable manner, which is conducive to my personal self improvement. So this is what purpose is. Either you do something or you become something, and it is something that should be thought upon and deliberate, not something accidental. You have to find the reason for the misery and the suffering that life is going to impose on you, and you better do it yourself and have live it nobly and in the best and intense manner possible, and for yourself and for nobody else, for none of your legacy. And because well, people are going to forget you the way they have forgotten those who are living around you. So just do it for yourself. Have a reason to live, and just live in the most intense and extreme, and in the way that is conducive to your purpose, and just stop doing something that is not a part of what your purpose is. And it's something that I would just like to add on the end. If it is something that does not contribute to your purpose, it's purposeless. And you're not supposed to do it, whether it be a friend, whether it be a meal, whether it be a movie, anything at all. If it's not something that is not going to directly contribute towards your purpose, don't do it. And that is one of the reasons I told you that it is something that you should be feeling intensely attached towards. You have to find it out. You don't have to have any rationalization for that as well, that I earlier told you. But it should be the only source of pleasure and the only source of comfort in your life. Having that purpose, that is the only source of pleasure that is supposed to be there in your life. And anything that does not contribute towards that should be a distraction and should be removed out of your life and should not be pursued. That is how you live nobly, and that is how you become the most confident and the best version of yourself for you.